Hello, crypto friends, checking in on the usual suspects as of late. We'll do Dash and Neo again like last video. So where we left off, I was looking for the potential of an entry for Litecoin's daily higher low, and I was looking at the exponential moving average support for that support to hold, and looking for an easy 5% move. So we'll check in on that in just a bit. Let's start it off with Bitcoin. So right now, we just had a pretty brutal fake out, and we just continually see bounce attempts with no follow through. So we have the high of the bounce attempt, we pulled back, set a lower high, pulled back, lower high, and this bounce attempt right here, we failed to break resistance by 8 pennies, and here we are looking back down at the low of consolidation on the daily time frame, 3.535. So essentially what is happening is the bears are sitting here and waiting and just crushing that price. We had a very clear bull break starting to take place, and we were right up at that resistance, and you can see the next 5-minute candlestick, the bear volume outweighed the bull volume, and they absolutely crushed the price back down for a very quick 2% pullback essentially. Now we're trying to see a recovery from that, the hourly time frame, just looking to bounce and set a lower high. The bears have made their mark, and the bulls should be a little bit frightened by that reaction. And nice to see that we didn't break resistance and then get crushed back down. We did get crushed before that resistance, but we're in a scenario where the bulls, ever since that one bullish day, have yet to prove anything to us in terms of follow through. There's individual alt names that have seen plenty of follow through. Those are where the bulls are looking for the most opportunity for gains. And we'll look at a couple examples again on this list just now where they're holding up way better on the daily chart, and it's much more clear setups as well. So let's do Litecoin next. We were looking for Litecoin on the daily time frame to give us a higher low, and that was because we had a very bullish breakout, and we had been consolidating at that point for 3-4 days in a row. So here we are touching right off that exponential support, and we got a solid amount of follow through. It ended up being over 10% from the low of the consolidation to the high of this bull move, but it got knocked down just like Bitcoin did. I did not get any of my orders filled. I had all of my orders in the 39, 38, 37 range. I was being extra cautious because I was not at my computer. I'm on vacation and doing other things, and wanted to make it so that if I were filled, it would be because things were getting a bit extreme in the short term. And because I didn't get filled, that means it didn't get extreme, but I would much rather have that happen than get in too early and then have the pullback go more than anticipated while I'm not there to monitor my trade. So we had an inverse 4-hour head and shoulders pattern that broke bullish. 44.50 was key resistance. And again, we got rejected just before that resistance level, unable to break it by 30 cents. But we do still have 4-hour higher lows here. And if we're going to compare it to Bitcoin and look on the 4-hour time frame, we do have one higher low of support. That's the only support level to be looking at. But Litecoin, we have two levels here. And it's 40.90, which only broke by a couple pennies, and then 39.60. So a little bit more support, holding on a little bit better, but still not getting any follow through with that upper wick, thanks in part to that big bear attack on Bitcoin. Ethereum also holding up better. The daily time frame, we have our high of the breakout, the low of consolidation, and we've been within this now for the last 5 days. So looking at that on the 4-hour time frame, we can see a base of support with a couple 4-hour higher lows, 118.73, 119.06, and now 119.13. So both Ethereum and Litecoin are holding some 4-hour supports a little bit better. We have the daily exponential support, hasn't even been tested yet on Ethereum. Litecoin held it, and Bitcoin is grinding that level right now. So that's what we're watching on the daily time frame. We need to see bull moves, obviously, that don't get smashed right down right away, and we have to break key resistance levels to be looking for continuation. XRP continues to stay in its tightening daily range. We're going to be looking for a break of this sometime within the next week, and we've got a higher low and a lower high very tight here. 301 support, 318 resistance, and we're closer to a bear break than a bull break. Keep an eye on this pattern, as the end of February is going to dictate some clear momentum for XRP when this range does break. And I wouldn't even be interested in anything other than the daily time frame. A bit choppy on the 4-hour because things are so tight. When you have tightening ranges on the daily time frame, if it's clear on the 4-hour, absolutely use it. But when you look at it and it's choppy like that with a lot of support and resistance breaks, use the longer term levels, longer term time frames for more clarity. TRX gave us that clear bear break long ago, and it's followed through in a big way. We dropped all the way down to 2.3, so that's now ending up to be a 7 to 8% pullback from a loss of the daily higher low. And if you're interested to see the comparisons and how we could tell that TRX was more bearish than other names, go ahead and go back and watch the videos starting February 9th with our coverage. And we could very clearly see, just using comparative analysis, comparing the correlations with other individual coins and saying, okay, these names are seeing a lot of bullish strength with Bitcoin. TRX is not seeing it. So when Bitcoin consolidates, TRX is likely going to lose its daily uptrend. So now we're looking on the weekly time frame, and a weekly higher low is going to form because the last weekly level is down at 1107. So this is healthy weekly consolidation, but you could see it coming pretty decently in advance. Binance, beautiful bull on the daily time frame, increasing bull volume on the way up, declining bear volume on the way down, bounced right off exponential 12-period support on the daily, just like Litecoin, and significant follow-through. We bounced off 841, and we got all the way up to 950. That is a very significant 10% plus move, very similar to what Litecoin did, but it's also holding on a little bit better. Let's look at the 5-minute fake out and what we saw on Bitcoin, and you can't even really see it here standing out on Binance. And if you're going to find a coin that is not correlated to Bitcoin, Binance consistently for the last year and a half has been that coin. And let's just see exactly when that Bitcoin spike did occur so we can see what it did look like. It was at 7:15 and 7:20. So going back to Binance. So it's actually at 9:15 and 9:20, and that's it right here. So it's just further consolidation, and the bulls trying to shift around and change that momentum back in their favor. So looking at the hourly time frame, we changed the hourly trend. We had a dump, the bounce, higher low established, pretty much a bull flag on that bounce, and then continuation with big volume in a big way. And then we lost the higher low here, indicating that some further pullback was coming when we lost 921. And if we zoom out to the 4-hour time frame, we're looking for a healthy higher low to form, because the move that we've seen was straight from the low of the consolidation to the top. That's a ton of, 12% rough move without any consolidation. So you lose the hourly uptrend, you zoom out to the 4-hour, and we're looking for the 4-hour higher low to be established. And if we can keep this 4-hour uptrend, we're going to be looking for daily continuation, as this is very clear uptrend intact, holding 840 as the most important short-term support from here. Dash on the daily time frame, also very healthy consolidation compared the bull volume to the bear volume. Let's look at the hourly trend change to indicate the temporary bottom. We broke the lower highs, and let's see on the 4-hour time frame. Now we're looking for that higher low and need to confirm the trend change, breaking $79, and we're looking for that same higher low on Binance as well. Both Dash and Binance are standing out more bullish with their daily setups. Neo, same thing. Daily higher low just above the 12-period exponential support. We bounced from 786 to 857. Very significant follow through for the bulls. Our new daily must-hold level is there. The 4-hour time frame looking for a higher low to be established, and it did see more of a correlation on the 5-minute time frame to these spikes. Look at that double top. But these spikes that we saw on Bitcoin, more correlation here on Neo. And as soon as that double top hits and you pull back that hard, bears get an easy trade there, pulling back well over 5%. So daily time frame, we have our clear must hold higher lows on Neo, Dash, and BNB. Those are our lead bulls out of these names by a long shot. And we're going to watch to see if these major names, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin, can they shift momentum without getting smacked back down? Because the last two attempts to shift that momentum into continuation did get crushed with no follow through. So we have to be skeptical of the bulls on those names, but these other names are riding very comfortably with those bulls. TRX, bearish, looking for a bounce, and when we get it, we'll look for a daily lower high. But again, just looking for a weekly higher low. So the weekly is now the time frame to be using on TRX to scout when that level has been found. And then XRP, that daily tightening range that's been intact for almost a month at this point, about 3 weeks actually. That's going to look to break again sometime in the next couple of days. Appreciate you watching. Hope you do good things out there. We're going to end it off here with a bit of jungle action in Costa Rica, and we'll check back in if we get some volatile action tomorrow. Have a good night.